looking all over for you.
Where were you?
Looking for you.
I was texting you.
Well,
anyway,
it's
classic us.
It's not uncommon. So we just came back from premiere. We had a great time at premiere. We also,
full lineup we had.
Full lineup.
We had Redken.
We had Redken. We had Matrix. We had Design Essentials. We had us. We had our education team.
Yes.
Redken.
Sam Villa.
Mr. Sam Villa and his team, Hugo and Lindsay.
Yes.
Amazing. Blew the crowd away.
Oh my gosh, always. He's so great at breaking things down. Amazing.
Yeah, I've watched him 100 times. And I can watch them another 100 times, absolutely. And then we also had Matrix, our friends from Matrix.
Correct, we had Robert Santana.
And his sidekick, Patty Rodriguez.
And they did an entire segment in Spanish.
Very cool.
The crowd that they drew from having that Spanish segment of Spanish-speaking stylists that came and were interested in what they were doing. I mean, you didn't even have to speak Spanish.
No,
what they were doing was flawless,
absolutely.
But it was great to see that interaction.
So cool. And then we also had
our old friends
from
They're
Design
old
Essentials.
friends now. Greg Gilmore
and Lacey Fields.
Yes.
And they did an amazing job as always with texture. You and I are obsessed with texture. And they just kind of explained what our vision was too.
Good about dispelling the myths and taking some of that fear out of handling and dealing with textured hair. They did some beautiful looks on their models, and we had a good time with them.
We had a great time. And then we also had our educators on the stage.
We were like proud parents. They did an amazing job. It was their first time on stage, and they knocked it out of the park.
We were on stage too.
But
That's
we're
old hat. That's old hat.
Nothing new.
I mean, I don't know if you heard this, but I heard through industry friends that our booth was the best.
Well, it was the prettiest. It was the most interactive.
Well, how about that photo booth?
Yeah. Like all those cameras taking photos 360 degrees.
Our production team was there interviewing everybody. We had our we even had some people from operations.
Ever was there a dull moment on that stage.
Never a dull moment.
So job well done.
Yeah, job well done to you too. So anyway, we can talk about that for a long time. But let's talk about what we're doing today. We have some amazing guests.
Well, we really wanted this particular guest from Paul Mitchell.
Yes.
And ask and you shall receive. We got
Lucie Doughty. So a little bit about Lucie. I don't know if everybody knows how amazing she is. She is an editorial stylist. She won last year. Editorial NAHA last year. And that's just to add to her collection of other NAHA wins.
I know, imagine her shelf.
Like yours. I can't.
But anyway.
I can't.
Amazing.
Way better.
We really wanted her and we got her. So this should be a wonderful treat.
I can't wait to see what she does. And then we also have some friends from Avalon.
Yep, we have Alana Snowden, who's their director of education.
And she's all about the health and wellness of hair, and she has a beautiful way of displaying it. And then one more guest, we have Nicole Grant.
And she has a salon in the city actually, and is a platform artist for them. She's been published in numerous publications. I know Sophisticates is one.
Modern Salon, Essence, just to name a couple.
So we will be meeting them for the first time, but we're so excited to have them.
Well, we have a pretty cool cast.
So I can't wait.
So I think we're gonna outdo ourselves.
Wait, hold on.
Oh no!
Wait,
don't Instagram. We gotta go.
I'm not Instagramming, but I'm like getting this like text.
You know, I have to be nosy.
Look, I have to go.
Oh no! You
like
have to,
now.
You have to go.
I have to go. Do you got this?
I got this. Go.
All right, bye.
Open up your eyes and see everything you wanted. Know if you believe it. Know that you can have it. Yeah.
Of course, every time the guest sits into the chair, they're looking to their professional for advice on how to look good.
Every day, no matter who sits in my chair, I'm always going to prescribe Paul Mitchell to you.
A blow dryer, a flat iron, a brush. Shouldn't it be one that's been crafted by hairdressers for hairdressers?
What has been the greatest evolution of our product over the years, and again, I'm a bit of a historian, I've been here a while, some major chapters. One is being a color company.
We know what the hairdresser needs. We listen to our stylists. We listen to the people that we work with.
We see avenues of going further and further, and every day this company at Paul Mitchell is bringing more and more resources from the new breakthroughs every day that chemists are making to do with hair care.
Open up your eyes and see everything you wanted. Know if you believe it. Know that you can have it. Yeah.
Of course, every time the guest sits into the chair, they're looking to their professional for advice on how to look good. Every day, this company at Paul Mitchell is bringing more and more resources from the new breakthroughs every day that chemists are making to do with hair care.
Hey, Lucie.
Hello.
Hi, thank you for being here today with us. I can't tell you how excited I am to have you. I was telling you, you're a little bit of my girl crush in the industry, so the things that you have done, amazing, and you are on your way to, if not already, being an icon in the industry. So I have a million questions I want to ask you. Okay, so I know that you've done exceptionally well.
Thank you.
I know that you have been Teacher of the Year.
Yes.
Several times, not just once. And tell me about that. What does Teacher of the Year mean?
So, I know, what does Teacher of the Year mean?
It means a lot.
It means a lot. But when I worked for Sassoons, was transferred after I'd worked in Germany for 3.5 years. I transferred to Santa Monica, and I worked in the academy there. And I found a passion for teaching. I loved it. I just loved being around people and their enthusiasm. And so Teacher of the Year was, I guess I did a great job.
You did an exceptional job. And then came along Paul Mitchell.
Yes.
That's who you are with now. You're an artist for Paul Mitchell. So tell me about that.
I actually met Win Claybar, the founder of the schools, in 2000, and was very inspired by what he had to say and his vision for the future with the schools. And so I felt like I was at a point in my career where I could really take a new transition and really forward the career in education and also help him build his schools. So I started out with him with his first school. There's now over 100. And it's really fantastic to see how that empire has grown and how many future professionals come into the industry now. So
I can watch him every time. I don't care if he says the same thing, but I still listen. I still learn something every single time. So what an amazing mentor to have. That's spectacular. So tell me what's happening at Paul Mitchell. Like, what is the latest and the greatest? It is such an innovative company. You guys have an amazing artistic team. So tell me what you're doing at Paul Mitchell.
What we're doing? Well, we do have an amazing artistic team. We have a great team at the office as well. We are very hairdresser-based company. Our art directors, obviously all hairdressers, and a lot of people that run the company have that foundation. So we're always looking for, you know, something that will help the hairdresser behind the chair and help the guest with their hair. So we're always looking to transform and change products and, you know, just get the next best thing to aid everybody in their career and their hair.
No, that's awesome. So I ask everybody this because I think it's so important, in talking to you earlier. What influence does education have, and what advice would you give a new and upcoming hairdresser that is going to take over the world, and then they leave beauty school, and then it's kind of like your journey. You start and you stop, you start and you stop. So what does the road to success look like? How do you get from sweeping at your mom's salon to sitting in Magoo in New York? I know, super glam.
We were beamed here.
Yeah, I know, we were beamed here. But you know, I think that the journey is really important. So what advice would you give that
for me, I've always been open to education and open to other people's ideas. I think when you open up to what's available around you, there's a lot of opportunities. And I always tell the future professionals, like, this is such an amazing industry. Like, you can have anything you desire. You can work behind a salon, you can do editorial, you can do celebrities. Like, if you have that drive and passion and a skill set, you can go anywhere. So I think you have to dream big and also have the work ethic behind it to really propel yourself into the next level.
Well, we talked about work ethic. Tell me what work ethic means to you, because it is so important in success.
It is. I mean, my mom drilled into me at a very early age, like, you know, stand up, sweep, always look for the, you know, cleaning, like, make sure everything's in order, make sure you set your stylist up. And it just got me into a great pattern. Where I can really use that now in everything that I do. Like, I'm really, you know, have that work ethic behind me, and I think it's a good thing to have because it does propel you and it keeps you moving forwards, and you don't get lazy with that.
Do you ever take no for an answer?
No, never. No. I don't know the word.
You don't know the word? I think that you hear it and then you're just like, no, maybe later, maybe later. Well, I think that's awesome. I know that you're also behind the chair 1 day a week. I love that. It's kind of like keeping your foot in the game while you're doing all these other amazing things globally. So tell me about that one day in the salon. Why do you still work one day behind the chair in the salon?
I've worked always in the salon, even when I took up a full-time education. To me, it's just so important.
Yeah.
I think it's good to stay relevant with what's happening in the salon. I think when you drift away from it, sometimes you lose that authentic feeling. I love my guests. I love seeing my guests all the time. I love seeing what other stylists are doing.
Yes.
I like chatting with them, getting their opinions on things, and I always feel like there's a family connection in the salon.
Absolutely.
And it's something that cannot be replaced with anything else that you do.
The synergy of teamwork, I think. I love that. I love working with other artists. I love listening to their stories. And what I think very often it's very similar. I think that everybody has kind of traveled a similar route, but different detours throughout. I know that you are very well decorated. And what I mean by that is, where do you keep your NAHA trophies? Where are they? Where do you keep them in your house? Are they in your house?
They are. Well, yes. Some of them are wrapped up because I don't want
to. Okay.
But I have one out.
You have one out?
I have the latest one out that
Was that last year?
Yes.
Yes, I was cheering you on. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was a great honor and a huge surprise.
It was. I can't believe that you just said it was a surprise. We saw it coming.
Oh, you did?
We saw it coming. Yeah, of course. And you and I were talking about social media a little bit earlier, and I know that you're so busy doing and traveling, and you're doing 100 miles a minute, right? So how do you slow down and remind yourself the importance of posting on social media? You are an influencer, and you influence the way new and upcoming stylists are thinking to the seasoned hairdresser that maybe has a great clientele in their set, but they look at you and say, wow, that's pretty amazing, and it inspires them to do maybe something different than they've been doing. So
for me, it's been hard to get into the habit of doing it, and I have to remember that it is fun to share things with other people, and it is great because I love scrolling through Instagram. So imagine if everybody stopped posting, how boring that would be.
That's true.
It is a way that we all are connected, and it's such a great community. So I know sometimes I'm like, oh, I need to post, I should post something, especially as we're out and about and doing things, and I love to see what you're doing and other hairstylists, and so I do try to stay on track with that and post things that mean something to me too.
Absolutely. What's your Instagram handle?
It's my name, Lucie Doughty.
Okay, very good.
Yes. Follow me.
Same as mine. It's just follow Lucie. Absolutely. So let's kind of talk business. So Paul Mitchell, innovative company. We talked about the artistic team. You guys are amazing contributors. You are setting trends globally. So what is happening? What trends are you guys releasing? What's new? What's next? Kind of give us a sneak peek at what's happening.
We have been very focused on color. We've got some really gorgeous color products coming out. And so we've been working a lot focusing on that color, and also, some styling products. But I think the most exciting is our color. We've had our Pop XG, we've got our Color XG, and I think just seeing the world on Instagram of how people are embracing color, it's a very exciting time as a colorist.
Oh, absolutely.
And just as hairdressers in general, that our clients are looking at Instagram and different social media outlets and saying, oh, this is so great, I want to have my hair this color. It's a great time for us to be playing and experimenting. So for us, we've really worked on working on our color and really producing products that people can use and get these great looks.
So vibrant color has been now, I believe, like a staple in the salon, right? Everyone's coming in, they're like, I want this, I want this. So, in all honesty, I thought that it was going to be a trend and it would fade. No, it's like stronger than ever.
Stronger than ever.
Stronger than ever. So, do you see that still being significant? Or do you kind of see us stepping away from that and evolving into something else?
I think it will evolve. I think once you've had strong color, it's hard to go back. It's like being blonde. You can't really go back after that.
The blonderage. We were talking about that, the blonderage,
It's so hard to go back. So I think there will always be an element of some sort of pop or brightness. Maybe it's not as all over as we've had. I've loved seeing like the grays with like little hints of color, or deep colors with like little pops. I love seeing the multiple tones on one strand.
Yeah.
So I think there's been some great evolution within that, and it's not just everything is bright or one color. Like, definitely seeing like the beautiful nuances for me is interesting.
Well, I think now that we're sensible blondes,
yes,
right? Not a routine, and now I think evolving,
yes.
And being a seasoned hairdresser, you're like, I just want beautiful blonde. I have to ask you this: did you go through the hairdresser phase where you had, what's the craziest hair that you had? What was the craziest color and the craziest style?
Well, do we ever fall out of that? I know we've got our sensible blondes right now, but I mean, even at last gathering, I dyed my hair like a lime green.
I remember that on stage.
So that was fun. I always get inspired. We do our campaigns, and I'm like, oh, I want to do that color.
I want to do that. Yeah. Well, the nice thing is it kind of fades into back to being the sensible blonde.
But I think, you have to try different things, and unless you try it and experiment, you just
that's true. That's true. So
share with other people.
The hairdresser part never really goes away completely.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. I see something and I'm like, I want that, and then I'm like, can I do that? I'm not really sure. And then I end up with the same hairdo regardless. What's next for you? You have done everything. So what have you not done yet, if there's anything left? And tell me about that.
So very exciting. I just moved into a new position. So I just took a full-time position with Paul Mitchell, and I'm now responsible for the media department and also our still photography. So I'm going to be helping with moving our ad campaigns forwards, and also our media department. And media is growing at such a rapid rate.
Yes.
So it's something that is newer for me, and even though I've been working on shoots for a very long time, I think with the addition of media, I'm very excited to do that because it is moving me and it's pushing me in a different direction. It's also forcing me to go into areas that I'm not so comfortable, and I think that's when growth really happens.
It's challenging you, and it's making you think differently.
Yes, so I'm
awesome.
I'm really having fun with that moving picture.
Well, I think you're going to be taking over the world pretty soon. So it's coming, it's coming. All right, well, I can keep talking to you. I know we talked for a long time before that, but let's talk on set.
Great, thank you so much.
Let's get started.
Thank you. We are on set today in sunny New York, and we're going to be talking about setting a lot today. And one of my favorite sets is a figure 8 set. I love this set because it can be used in so many different ways. It all depends on the pin, and it also depends on how you wrap it around the pin. So one of the techniques that I am doing today is this figure 8, and we're going to do it in a little bit more of a softer pattern, so it's more like a wave. So I'm taking a square panel, keeping it combed out nice and flat, so I've combed through, spraying down the hair shaft. And this is just prepping the hair for that set. So it's going to give me a little bit of hold and memory. I'm taking the hairpin, this is my hairpin, and I'm going to slot the hairpin over the section, like so. And then with that, I'm going to take the hair and start to wrap it like a figure 8. So it goes underneath, over the top, under, over, under, over. And I'm wrapping it all the way down the pin. As I mentioned before, we're doing it a little bit more of a larger set, but you could use smaller pins and you'd get a much more of a zigzag effect. Also, if you push it all the way up, it makes it a little bit tighter. The more you let it stretch down the strand, a little bit more of a wave. Also adjusting your pin. If it's really tight together, you're going to have a smaller transition between the two sides, where if you stretch it out, it's going to give it that looser wave. So we've wrapped it a few times. I'm going to leave out the ends like I did on this one. So we're leaving about 2 inches at the end there. Again, I'm going to go in with the Hold Me Tight. I'm going to spray top and bottom, and then go in with my Neuro Smooth. And this is going to heat up and allow the set to take hold. So making sure that I clamp right at the top, and then work my way down the pin. And it's important that you make sure that you clamp it so that it sets that crimp in place. When you feel like it's all heated, what I'm going to do is take a single prong clip. I'm going to push that over to one side and use the single prong clip to hold this in place. So that will sit on the edge. I'm going to continue all the way across and then take my next panel down and work my way up the head. The way that we're going to finish on the top is we're actually going to drop the top down, probably going to take it to the recession, so like the round of the head, and then have that texture through the center and smoother ends.
The experience was hot.
Education is critical, and the Salon by InStyle, they know education.
Oh my gosh, there's so much that you can learn from this company.
Se trata de poder compartir y conectar con los estilistas.
So when you collaborate and you talk about education, it's so important that you talk about information that they can use behind the chair.
Y aquí en Premier es un local perfecto, una área perfecta para conectar con los estilistas que vienen a aprender, divertirse, pero también sacar un poco de la creatividad que puedan usar en su salón.
They want their stylists to not only be good, they want to move them from good to great.
So hopefully in the future we get to collaborate more.
It's great to be partners with Salon by InStyle because partnerships in the industry matters to take the companies to the next level.
Queremos crear un punto de diferencia y la educación y la fuerza está en la educación.
Excited to have you guys here with me today. I want to introduce you guys to our audience and our viewers. I am with Elena Snowden and Nicole Grant. Welcome from Avalon. Thank you guys for getting up so early.
Oh my God, thank you for having us.
Of course, our pleasure. So of course I have a bazillion questions for you guys, and I always ask the question of, tell me about you and your journey. How did you start? And how did you end up in this restaurant at 7 a.m. with me in New York? So we'll start with you.
Well, it's been a little bit, not a little bit, like over 20-something years.
Yes,
I've been in the industry.
I think over 20, you don't have to add any more
right.
to that. That's enough credibility.
Right,
yeah.
dot, dot, dot.
Yes, dot, dot, dot.
And, you know, I've had a dream, and it was to be in front of people, to share information with people. I didn't know it was going to be like this because I had a dream of being a teacher.
Okay.
I went to school and I decided college was not the thing for me, and the creative side was. And I entered cosmetology school, and I made sure that every goal that I wanted to do, I kind of hit it and over exceeded, and this is how I ended up being here.
Well, you're the director of education for Avalon, so I think you did pretty well.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And what about you, Nicole? What was your, I know we were talking a little bit earlier, tell me what your you came out of beauty school like, I got this, I run the world, and then what was the next step?
Kind of. Well, actually, I didn't even plan on going to beauty school.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even, doing hair wasn't something that I really wanted to do. A friend of mine in high school, she was like, I want you to braid my hair, and she showed me how to do it.
How to braid
and
hair.
I got pretty good at it, so I started going to people's houses, like doing their hair.
Because that's instant gratification, right?
Absolutely. And this salon owner braided her hair, and she was like, you know, you can make a lot of money doing this. And I was like, oh, okay, where do I go?
Yeah.
And at the time, I wanted to be a business owner. I really thought that I was going to be an executive in New York City with a pet house and a Black Panther as a pet. Everybody knows me. They think like, I really did. I really did. And
awesome.
obviously it didn't happen like that. So I went to school, won awards and something, came out of school and was like, okay, I'm going to be this amazing stylist.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a journey.
There is a journey.
But I haven't looked back since. I found a love. I'm very passionate about it. I love it. And I think that if you stay on course and you love it and you keep the passion in it and just be in love with your clients, it just takes you where you need to go.
Yeah. Well, it's a very passionate business, right?
It really
and
is.
I don't know anybody that got into it for the money. Nobody ever said, hey, you know, I'm going to do this. It was just, I love it. I've wanted to do it since I was a kid. It may be something like braiding. You start off braiding and all of a sudden you were like, wait, I'm going to make this a massive business for myself. But I think that one thing that connects all of us is education.
Yes.
So can you tell me how you feel about education, advanced education, and the influence that it has had in your career? I think that that's so important for our stylists to know because we are never done. We're never done with education because there's always something new, something better, something to make you stronger. So what influence do you feel that education has on a successful hairdresser?
It has major influence. Being in the industry for as long as I have, it keeps you relevant. That is so important. Not only that, it keeps your skills up. It's also, what I love most is just this right here, communing with other hairdressers.
Absolutely.
So you're not stuck in one place, because sometimes we get real comfortable.
Absolutely.
And when you get comfortable, that lane is when I see hairdressers tend to get out of the industry. And educating yourself and continuing that education is what keeps you in this game for the long haul or for wherever you want to do. Vidal Sassoon said something that I said I was going to get a tattoo, matter of fact. Discipline is a necessary inconvenience. And education is such a key thing. I loved it when I heard it. And education is a part of that process. So that's key as a hairdresser. It's
a part of your growth process, right? Otherwise, you're standing still.
Yep.
It takes you to the next step.
Yeah.
Now it's your turn.
Oh, yeah. So I agree with Elaine. I think that education is probably the most important thing because the trends are changing. There's so many different things that you need to learn. The same thing that we did 10 years ago is absolutely different now.
Yeah.
So we're constantly evolving, and in some places, to have your cosmetology license, you're not required to do anything, but renew it.
Right.
So if you don't take it upon yourself to get education, you determine where you go.
Yes.
So education can take you all the way to the top, or it can take you to a position where you need to get supplemental income because you haven't advanced yourself.
Yeah. Well, I also think it keeps you ahead of the competition.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
Knowing
Absolutely.
something or having techniques before maybe the salon next door is what makes you stronger, stronger and credible.
Yes.
And it makes you who you are as an artist.
Yes.
So Avalon is a big player in the texture game, in the texture industry. So tell me what Avalon is doing now and later to do texture differently. What are you guys doing that is probably not happening in the industry otherwise?
Avalon is big on innovation in products and ingredients. And we always believe in having a good foundation when it comes to hair care. And that is the key thing. If the scalp is not right, then the hair is not right, and then you cannot do a great textural hairstyle. And so for me on that aspect of it, because I'm in-house, I speak from the voice of the product being sufficient. And that is where Avalon, to me, goes beyond, above and beyond when it comes to innovation in that area. Now Nicole will probably have a different spin on it.
Tell me what you think.
Well, I do think that Avalon is cutting edge with their innovation and their technology, and the way that they do their research and development for how it plays, how products play a part in textured hair. I think it's superior to a lot of the other companies, and the way that Dr. Ali Sayed feels about making sure that the ingredients in the product does exactly what it needs to do to make sure that hair is healthy first.
Absolutely.
So,
I think that is such an important, and I hear you guys say it, and I've seen it, and everything Avalon is healthy hair, and I think that there's such a focus on health overall, but the health of hair, especially textured hair, I think that is something that has become a really strong focus, and that's incorporated into everything you guys are doing. I'm so happy to have you with us.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, wait to show everybody all the amazing things that you guys have done on set today. So let's get on set.
All right.
Let's go.
All right.
Good afternoon. Today we're going to be showing a textured updo style featuring our invisible Dutch braiding technique. So right now we're going to apply some of our Keracare Natural Textures hair milk. So we're applying the product and we're smoothing it on just to make sure that hair is pliable so we can section it effortlessly. We're going from ear to ear.
And the key thing with this is that we're not disrupting the natural curl.
So we've sectioned our 3 sections, moving the hair out of the way, making sure that we have a seamless movement. So we're holding the hair and we're gonna make our first section. We're gonna do our 3 sections first. So even though we're not gonna see the foundation of this, we still wanna make sure that the lines are clean and that our sections are clean. But before we start with our rubber band, we're gonna leave a little section of hair out so we can cover that rubber band. So we're looping that hair around, maybe about 4 or 5 times. So we're actually preparing the hair step by step as we go. So the piece that I left out, I'm wrapping it around just to cover the rubber band. And we're moving on to our second section. We're doing about 1 inch up, applying another rubber band. So now we're gonna separate, making sure that it's a seamless hole. And we're just flipping that hair through it. So we're taking the remainder hair and flipping it through, creating a loop effect. So we're starting with our second section, remembering to leave a little bit of the hair out. So again, following the same step, taking the section again, wrapping it. And now we're repeating step 2, creating a loop effect, pulling the hair through, make it a little smoother. And we're moving to our third section. So now that we have all of our sections, we're going to marry them together. So we're looping it through. We take our second section, we loop it through, and it gets married to the middle. So now that we have the sections in, we're going to go through and just pull. So what we did was, after we did our 3 sections, we went and looped the hair through, one section on top of the other, so it can actually look like an interlock braid. So we're finished with that section. Now we're going to move to our second section. So 2 sections are going to go into the actual braid, the middle.
The top piece is going to be part of your front foundation, so you're going to clip it out of the way. The section that we previously did, that hair that was on the side, we're now going to marry it into the middle. So it's going underneath. So the other side also is going underneath. And we're going to continue with the braid.
It was
getaway.
So good. It was so good. I'll tell you about it later.
Okay. Well,
tell me what I missed.
You missed everything. Lucie Doughty was as spectacular as we thought she would be.
Were you a good host in my absence?
I was a great host. I asked all the questions you would ask, and my questions too.
Did you shake her upside down?
I did. I shook her, I patted her, I got everything that you need to know.
Good.
And then also our Avalon guests were amazing. Nicole and Alana.
Yeah?
They were spectacular. They did some beautiful, beautiful work.
Did you learn some things?
I learned some things.
That's
you know,
awesome.
you know, we're always learning. We always pick something up at these shoots too.
Did you miss me?
It was a little odd not to have you here. I will say that. But
right.
So, do tell. What's up?
Okay. Well.
What?
Yes. Oh yes. Yes.
Wow.
So, you see this smile on my face?
I see the smile on your face.
Anyway.
Wow. Well, with that, stay inspired.
Stay beautiful.
Every day we get stronger, stronger.